This is you when you don't set goals. This is your brain when you don't set goals. Any questions? Okay, so let's get one thing straight. Simply setting a goal on its own isn't enough to do much of anything. Finishing the goal is what will bring you advancements and progress and all that good stuff. But I'm hoping that by knowing how to better set goals, it will make it easier for you to accomplish them. A common problem I see people have is that they set goals too high, or they set goals that when completed wouldn't give them much of anything. People also don't seem to give themselves enough time to accomplish their goals, as if giving themselves less time will ensure they complete the task as fast as possible. But ultimately, they either give up or are forced to constantly push back their deadlines into infinity. In this video, I would like to address some of these issues and explain some things that I have learned about setting and accomplishing goals. But before that, it would be great if you could like this video and share it with some of your art friends. If you like art-related videos and tutorials, don't be afraid to subscribe either. I'm hoping together we can build an art community that promotes growth for beginner and intermediate artists, so we can help each other transcend and reach greatness. Now, on to the video. If there is one thing many artists have in common, it is a desire to do something great with the thing they are most passionate about. And this great thing to be done can come in many forms depending on who is desiring to do them. For beginner artists, the paths and things surrounding said things can be vague and the details incomplete. We watch a great movie or read a great book and then tell ourselves we want that, with no clear understanding of what that is or how to get there. We find ourselves spending months or even years vaguely doing things left incomplete and continue to reach our hopes towards a blurry desire and shame ourselves for not somehow being there already. It's a vicious cycle that leaves us drained and dreaming instead of pushing us forward towards something we can be proud of. And the only way out is to better understand ourselves and what we want, so that we can make a plan to get there. When it comes to setting goals, the first step usually happens automatically, most of the time. You have to figure out something specific that you want. As an artist, this commonly comes in the form of skill, a job, a project, or even admission into a university. Oftentimes, people are too vague at this step, ruining the effectiveness of the following steps. Others might stop at this stage entirely, mistaking their desire as a complete goal. Both make it difficult to complete anything at all. Bad examples for desires would be to get good at art, or get an art job, or even to make money from your art. The more defined counterparts for these desires would be to better understand how to draw anatomy, or to study specific artists or style. Maybe to get a storyboarding job at a specific animation studio. Or even to become an independent artist through the use of social media by building your skills and offering a specific set of services to your fan base. Notice how all of these are filled with specifics. The more you understand what you desire and what is involved in getting there, the better you can prepare. Simply saying you want fans or you want an art job not only makes your desire incomplete, but it also makes you sound like you are waiting for something to be handed to you rather than you're working towards achieving something. It is also good to figure out how important this desire is and why you want it. This way, you can find a driving force to push you or to organize it around other goals. The why of a desire can also help decide how you might obtain it. If you want to gain a following for your art, why exactly do you want that following? Is it to promote a project that you're working on? Or maybe it's to make a passive income. You would have to approach these two very differently in order to find success. And unless you know why, you might end up doing the wrong things for a long time. Next, you want to do some research. Figure out how you can go about obtaining your desire. See how others might have done it. The internet is a valuable tool that you can use in better preparing yourselves for success. Instead of scratching your head to find answers, you can easily find solutions that someone else may have already thought of. Not knowing how to do something is an excuse you can only use once. Don't let complacency be the reason you can't move forward. Take advantage of the solutions others have already discovered in order to lessen your struggle. Next, you want to determine your goal length and type. How long will it take to obtain your desire, and how many steps are involved? Is it a short-term goal, a long-term goal, or something you will turn into a habit and work on for the rest of your life? For example, setting time aside to figure draw for an hour is a short-term goal. Learning how to draw the human body accurately is a long-term goal. And getting better at drawing in general is something you will want to do for the rest of your life, because even the best artists want to be better. As far as steps go, setting time aside for figure drawing is just one step. Learning to draw the human body can be broken up into learning to draw different parts of the anatomy and learning gesture. And getting better at art, in general, would be based around you creating habits for yourself that help you to improve, while at the same time setting up milestones to reach and measure your progress. At this point, you would divide your goals into smaller goals that can be achieved sooner and show your progress. It's a lot easier to work towards a collection of short-term goals than it is to constantly push towards a goal that is far away. With every smaller goal you complete, you bring yourself one step closer to your desire. You can also set deadlines for each individual goal based on your deadline for the end game. This way you can track whether or not you are on schedule. And if you don't have a clear deadline for the final goal, then now would be a good time to set one up. Without the urgency of a deadline, you may end up procrastinating on a project rather than working on it because you feel that you have time to do it later. Once you have your big goal divided into smaller goals with deadlines, you're all set. Not only have you set a goal, but you have created a schedule with an estimated completion date. Now, I'm going to take the steps I just talked about, and I'm going to use them to set a goal someone might have. Let's say the desire is to get better at art. In order to make it more specific, we are going to say the desire is to get good enough at art to make believable, stylized illustrations from imagination with help from reference from time to time. Why? So that I can become good enough to illustrate my own graphic novel. How important is it? This is something that I've wanted to do my entire life and want to do for a living. Research? There are many suggested ways someone might go about achieving this goal, and I have decided to do it through the use of life drawing and master studies. Goal length and type. This is a long-term goal divided into several steps along with the use of building habits. Start by studying line, shapes, forms, then drawing basic shapes in perspective and eventually modifying them, then turning that into a habit to practice the fundamentals, studying human anatomy, gesture, life drawing, master studies, etc. Next, I should set up a deadline, especially since getting better at art is something that can be done forever. Let's say I'm giving myself a year as someone who has already been drawing for a long time. That may be too short a time for someone who is just starting out, but even so, setting a goal for years in advance might be too hard to stick to. So in that case, you should instead aim to simply get better at art each year and form habits to help you do so. But let's say I have 1 year. I can then divide my specific study topics into different months, while also creating habits that I can follow throughout the year, such as gesture drawing and master studies. Once I have all of that set up, then I have my goal and my plan. All that's left afterwards is to commit and complete. A common tip to help with commitment is to reward yourself every time you complete a task. Kind of like a cheat day for people that diet and exercise. I personally don't do this when it comes to my art, and I find that those who aren't yet disciplined enough to commit themselves will reward themselves whether or not they achieve anything. So even in that situation, it is up to you to stay committed to the task and to keep the reward away until you've earned it. Obviously, I take breaks after working hard for long periods of time, but for the most part, my reward comes when I see my growth and can be proud of all the work that I've done. I hope this video was helpful to at least one of you out there. If not, let us know in the comments what could be done better. And if you know of other ways we can level up our art skills, let us know that as well. Also, while you're down there, I would love it if you would subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can see what I do next. But until we meet again, I would just like to say, welcome to Edenwick.